What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be breaking down the Redbubble algorithm. Okay, we're going to be taking it from a particular perspective. After we talk about the algorithm, we get all that cleared out. We're going to be answering some questions. The reason why I'm going to start answering questions at the end of videos sometimes is just to get them, answered. Instead of just answering a short comment, because there's a lot of questions, obviously, that I have to answer here. So if you want to stay towards the end of that, go ahead and feel free to do so. All right, so I'm going to be utilizing a whiteboard to explain the algorithm and explain it from a logical perspective. The whole concept is that if we can truly understand how a platform works on a deeper level, then we can understand how to present our tags, how to understand how to present our designs, all these kind of things, and overall it will improve our success on Redbubble. So that's why this video might be valuable to you. Now, let's go ahead and start at the top. We're going to have to actually reverse engineer the process. If you think about it, right, there are two different ways a consumer can find a product, okay, on Redbubble. Let's say find a product, okay? Find a product. They could have a Google search, for example, right? It could be there's three different ways. A third party, so let's say if it's social media, etc., or if they already know about Redbubble. So let's say they have Redbubble saved on their browser and they go back to visit it because they're frequent customers, right? So let's just assume those are the three ways for now so we don't complicate the process. After they find a product that they're interested in, right? And that could go in two ways to find a product. What I mean is, let's say they were on Google, they searched for something. This was the design they searched for, and when they clicked on that link in Google, it took them straight to the product. That's one way. Or another way is that after they find a product, they do some searching around Redbubble, and they find a specific product. Well, in order for them to actually truly find a product, what they really need to do is they need to search for a product, okay? And this is not in all cases, but they need to search for a product. Typically, the consumer, when he or she searches for a specific product, whether it be on Google, whether it be on Redbubble, that's not going to be the very first product they buy. It might be they might come back to it and buy it later, but typically the first product they see is not the first product they buy. That's just typically the way it goes. But after they find a product, what happens after they find a product? They have a purchase, right? Now, if we could just take a microscope and, put it on this section here in between finding a product and the purchase, right? We have this scale, right, of, let's kind of reload this, and I'll just kind of explain here. After they find a product, let's just give this a second, guys. I apologize. Why is this doing this right now? I apologize, guys. Just bear with me here. Let's see if we can. What is this here? Export. I do not want to export this. Let's take this link and go into an incognito tab. I apologize, guys. This is not a whiteboard platform that I have used. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to have to search this on Google. Whiteboard online. So if we can, once again, I apologize for that. If we can kind of put a magnifying glass between the phase of finding the product, right? Finding the product to purchasing the product, right? And then instead of engineering the process, we reverse engineer and see what is Redbubble's intentions. We can truly understand what the algorithm is offering, and we'll go ahead and talk about that in a second. But the different ways consumers can find a product is they'll go and perform a Redbubble search, right? A Redbubble search. That's one of the ways, right? And so can you imagine whether they join Redbubble through a third-party site like Instagram, Pinterest, or YouTube, for example, or maybe they are consumers to Redbubble and they know, like, and trust Redbubble for a long time. Well, sometimes they're going to perform a search. So let's just go ahead and perform a search here, and let's type in the word tiger, okay? So they might perform a search. And based on that search, there's a few things that will happen, okay? The first thing that will come up is we have a algorithm, right? We have an algorithm. And this algorithm chooses what products are shown. If you look at the page here, you're going to have a bunch of different images, and they're going to be put in a specific order, right? So we could see here, if I take a look at this algorithm, what it's presenting me is it's presenting me this tiger folk art throw pillow picture, this design first. It's presenting this one second, etc. Now, if we refresh this, it won't change immediately. Over time, it will change. Over, the next few weeks, the next few months, the next few years, whatever, the designs will change. The orders will change. We'll explain why that is in just a minute. But the algorithm will present it based on a relevancy default. Relevancy default. And for those who don't know what that means, if you go over here to the right-hand corner and click on most relevant, this is what relevancy is, right? What Redbubble is trying to do is based on a specific search, they're presenting a set of results, right? A set of results. In this case, these results are based on relevancy. We can actually switch the results if we switch it. So for example, if we click on trending, right? Let's go ahead and see here. This is a different set of results. Can we agree on that? Like, for example, this is not the folk art picture that we were looking for. This is not the black and white pencil hand-drawn picture that we once saw in the relevancy section. So let's go back to most relevant and let's compare here. You can see here, this is a different product, right? If we go over here to best-selling, for example, this is also different. Right, we have a bunch of pictures of tiger sharks. We have a picture of the golf player. What's his name? Tiger Woods. Right, like a kind of like a silhouette here. So there are different things that are being offered. Now there might be some overlap. For example, like this product. This product was in the third spot for the most relevant, and it still is the third spot for the best selling. But overall, most of the solutions do change. Now that's because based on the algorithm has two contingencies. And the first contingency is relevancy. And the second contingency is optional. What is the second contingency? Well, the second contingency is optional because we can go into the algorithm and we can change from relevancy to trending. We can change from trending to bestseller, right? And we could change it also. We have trending, bestseller. What was the other one? Let's see here. It was newest. That's what it was. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and reverse engineer. Before the customer goes through all of this to end up finding the product that they like and purchasing, what is the reality of them purchasing? Well, let's go backwards. Well, the first thing is they have to select through an algorithm to actually find the product, right? So which algorithm are they going to select? Are they going to select the relevancy algorithm? Are they going to select the trending algorithm, the bestseller, or the newest? Well, let's break this down from a logical perspective. If a consumer is coming in for the first time, let's just assume, or maybe the consumer's not looking for the first time. Maybe they're just looking something that's a product related to their search. What are they going to do? They're probably not going to alter the status of their search, right? For example, if they see a bunch of products and the products don't rub them the wrong way, or maybe they're not angry about the results, or not angry, you guys know what I mean. They're not satisfied with the results that are presented. They're not going to change this. Can we all agree on that, right? So if a consumer is looking for a certain product and they're satisfied with the results presented, they're not necessarily going to change this aspect right here, the most relevant. Well, that's one scenario, right? And this is the majority scenario. This is the majority. And Redbubble knows that this is the majority. Why? Because they set it as the default. If you go into an incognito tab or a computer that's never visited Redbubble, you perform a search, most relevant is going to show up first. There's a reason why this is, but we'll tackle this in just a minute, right? When we actually go deeper into the algorithm and explain this. Well, let's talk about the other ones here. Let's go ahead and refresh this page, and let's talk about bestseller. When would somebody look for a best seller? Okay? When would somebody look for a bestseller? When would somebody look for something that's trending? When would somebody look for something that is new? Well, I can tell you right now, new is the easiest one to select. Why? Because when consumers are they're comfortable with the results that they've seen. When I say comfortable, almost like they're sensitized. They've seen it so many times, and they're looking for something new. Well, then they're going to click new, right? So this is the opportunity for consumers to click new, is because they feel comfortable with the results that they've seen, and they've seen it so many times over and over again. And for them, it's a hassle to go down here and find new products by clicking on page 4, 5, 6, etc., and clicking next 100 times, right? So that's that scenario for new. Well, what about the other scenario for trending? Well, there's a few situations where this is possible, and typically, if a keyword is already trending, if it's already getting a lot of attention, consumers might select trending to see what is the most famous design, what is the most well-known design. It could be that they're looking for a specific design that maybe a friend had or something like that, or a group of friends have, or maybe it's a meme on the internet that they're looking to replicate, right? So this has to do with replication. Now, this is not always the case. There are so many different reasons why people are looking for trending designs, but typically when a consumer looks for a trending design, they're doing a search and they have a certain idea in mind, right? They have an idea in mind and they're looking for what people typically buy. What people typically buy. Or what people are typically drawn to is a better word, because really bestsellers is what people typically buy. Now, here's the thing with bestsellers. Bestsellers do not necessarily relate from a relevancy factor, and I'll explain what I mean by that. The way the Redbubble algorithm works, if I tag a specific keyword, let's say with multiple phrases, and we actually talk about this in the Redbubble the Redbubble Autopilot Passive Income tagging course. If you feel like you need a better handle on tagging after this video, I highly recommend the tagging course. It's $39.99. It shows you how to tag properly from an SEO Redbubble search algorithm perspective, and on top of that, it gives you the Google SEO knowledge that you need to go ahead and tag further. But that link will be in the first link in the comments, and if you're ever interested to see what the curriculum actually holds, all the videos are attached here, along with 4 extra videos using the Rocket Tagger tool, which is all described in the course, like I said. But anyways, back to what we're talking about here, is when the Redbubble algorithm is tagged with a certain phrase, right? Let's say there's a comma in between this phrase, and there's multiple words in between it. The Redbubble algorithm will not only take a combination of these words, but it will also take the singular aspect of these words. So it will take you and rank you for the singular aspect. But the thing is that Redbubble knows inherently that when there's a longer keyword phrase, it doesn't necessarily mean it fully relates to the product. So what do we mean by that? Well, let's use the example of tiger, right? Let's go to the best selling and let's explain what we're talking about here. If we look at best selling, notice that when I search the word tiger, a picture of sharks come up. Well, why do you think that is? Like this is a design that relates to sharks. Well, maybe in the tags, somebody used the word tiger shark, because I'm looking here and I actually see a photo of a tiger shark. And if we look, you could see here, let's see here, tiger shark. There we go. Now, this is interesting. And this shows through proof that, maybe they're tagged. Also, the word tiger is presented here. Now, from a tagging perspective, this is incorrect. This is not ideal, because what it does is it hurts relevancy for the word shark. When somebody searches for the word shark, they are not searching for the word tiger. In fact, this is where we're going to get deeper into the algorithm now, where I kind of explain this. But let's go and just give me a minute before I get back to that, okay? But when we get back to that, let's just talk about bestsellers here. What are the aspect of when people actually click on bestsellers? Well, they're looking for what people are purchasing more of, right? As a consumer, what's selling the best? What's the most important? But like I said, the thing about bestsellers that you want to understand is that it does not relate to relevancy. And this is the problem with bestsellers. And this is the problem when you're doing your research with your tags, especially your Rocket Tagger tool. What you don't want to do is you don't want to base your results on all bestsellers. And this is the problem. If I base my result on this bestseller, well, then I'm going to be shooting myself in the foot, because if you look at the Redbubble algorithm through default, it operates based on relevancy. So now let's go ahead and actually go deeper into the algorithm and explain the concept of the algorithm, okay? So the concept of the algorithm really relies through relevancy and bestsellers. And this is really the top two when it comes down to being a Redbubble seller. It will be very, very rare instances when people, and when I say rare, take that with a grain of salt, but out of 100% of searches, it will be a very small percent that will actually search for trending or newest. Okay? Newest, I mean, that's it for the people who are, like I said, consistently purchasing, and we already discussed this. But most of them, most searches through purchases will come through most relevant or best selling. But really, 90% of the time, it's going to be most relevant. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this, okay? What you need to know about the relevancy factor is that when a person adds a certain design, okay? Let's say this is the design, okay? When a person adds this design, you have your lead text. Your lead text. Your lead text is your title, but this is not necessarily going to affect, from a Redbubble standpoint, your being seen aspect. Like, this is really not going to affect it. And I'll explain what I mean. If there are certain designs here that rank for a specific keyword that do not have that word in the title. So the title is not really relevant to the algorithm. I don't want to say solely, but most of the time, like 90-something% of the time, it's based on your tags. Your tags are going to be the number one aspect for the Redbubble algorithm. Now, if we're talking about SEO for Google, this is a different concept entirely, okay? And we cover that in the course. But for here, we're just talking about the tags. Well, when we add specific tags, we know that most likely, based on the way the human brain works, these tags are going to be more relevant that we add to our lead title text. Isn't that fair to assume? Well, let me give you an example of that. Let's say we have a picture of a stick figure human being here. So our title will be, let's just assume, stick figure human, right? Like, that's the piece of our art. Well, wouldn't our tags be related to the word stick figure human? Right? Logically. Like, it's not like it's like some sort of secret here. This is something that's normal, and I think everybody here can agree with that. Well, the thing is that based on our tags that we've intentionally added, Redbubble can ascertain a value of relevancy towards our certain design. What does that mean? Well, Redbubble can categorize us where we belong through search based on the words that we add in our tags. So let's say I add the word stick figure in my tag, okay? If I add the word stick figure in my tag, Redbubble is going to lump me into a certain category of stick figures. But now let's assume that I add the word goat and I add the word tiger to my tags. Notice that these words have nothing to do with the stick figure concept. Well, now the way Redbubble is going to rank me is going to be completely different from a relevancy standpoint, because I'm no longer 100% relevant to stick figures. I'm now more relevant, let's say about 33% to goats and 33% to tigers. So my loyalty is divided here amongst the tags. But imagine if I was to add the word stick figure, if I was to add the word, let's say, stick drawing, if I was to add the word, let's say, stick art, like just random words like this. Well, what Redbubble will do is they'll take my design and verify it with other designs. Well, let's say one of the keywords or one of the tags is stick figure. Well, then, based on the other tags, it will see, are these other tags truly relevant to other designs? So what will happen is based on the given results, Redbubble will, this is how the search algorithm will work, is it will search for stick figure, okay, and it will see, okay, the designs, all 7,000 plus designs have certain tags. What are the most prevalent tags for the specific keyword? Well, let's just take a look at this, for example, and let's just take a look at the tags, and let's say one of the tags is stick, the word stick. Well, the word stick is matched in with, 2 of our tags here, 3 of our tags here, so now this design is more relevant than this design for the word stick figure. Why? Because there's more words or keywords that are common, so commonalities, right? And this is what the Redbubble Rocket Tool company calls parallelism, right? More commonalities between this design and this design. So therefore, this design has the right to rank over this design. Does that make sense? And so this is why you hear all the time of stories like tag spammers winning. Now, tag spamming is not really ideal, right? Because you're just at least certain stances of tag spamming are not ideal, but some certain styles of tag spamming will win. I'll explain what I mean by that, and I'll go ahead and reload this. Have you ever heard of or have you ever seen the tag spamming of people add like the number 1, 2, 3 at the end to their keyword? So I'll give you an example. There's a keyword, for example, on Redbubble that says keep calm and drink coffee, right? So like that's like an example of a tag, right? There are people who are tag spammers that just add 1, 2, 3 and just keep writing the same thing, right? Well, what Redbubble is doing here is they're looking at all the tags in unison to one of the tags, and they're saying, wow, all these other tags are so close to this main one tag that what happens is that we're actually going to rank these higher above the rest because the relevancy, and think of relevancy from a percentage perspective, right? From a percentage perspective, meaning a validated percentage. Like, for example, you have solution A and you have solution B. How much do solution A and solution B relate, right? And if they don't relate on certain things, that decreases relevancy, but if they relate on certain things, that increases relevancy. So, but the thing is, the problem with these type of tag spammers is that they're limiting their growth. Because if you're only ranking for the words keep calm and drink coffee, then you're not ranking for all the other scenarios there are. Somebody can simply search for coffee lovers and on Redbubble, coffee lovers, and find a keep calm and drink coffee shirt from somebody who did not tag spam. This is why we say we talk against tag spamming. Another aspect of tag spamming that is really not relevant to you is, and we'll use keep calm and drink coffee again as an example, right? We'll use this as an example, but another example of the tag spamming that is really not relevant, if you start adding words that absolutely do not relate to your design. For example, you add tigers, comma cat, comma, coffee bean, which may potentially relate, but from a graphical standpoint might not. And then you add a whole bunch of other words like Thor, dog. It wouldn't be just because there might be an open market for these certain keywords and maybe less competition, which there aren't. In real life, there aren't. But let's just say there are. That doesn't mean you should go ahead and do that, because consumers who are searching for, let's say, dog, cat, funny shirt, let's say, and yours comes up, keep calm and drink coffee, they're going to just simply just look over it because it does not relate. And this is why also, guys, we talk about sheer mass and sheer volume. The more work you do, the more designs you add, the better position you are from a logical standpoint to be seen. Why? Well, there's over 35 million designs on Redbubble. If we actually just type in the search here, we can see a total amount of designs. I think the last time we checked, there was about 35.5 million or 35.4 million. Now there's 35.8 million. So the numbers are just quickly rising, and pretty soon there will be 36 million, 37 million, 50 million. And the more that you neglect uploading, and this is what we always say, is we always talk about uploading consistently. And the reason why we do that is because we know inherently that the competition is always growing on Redbubble, and it's always becoming more and more difficult to succeed. This is why I say TeePublic is a good alternative to Redbubble, and don't use it as an alternative. Use it in unison with Redbubble, but it's a good alternative because the competition is not nearly as much. So you now have the chance to capitalize on that and own a good share of the amount of posts posted on TeePublic by just adding more. Now, of course, when I say a good amount of share, take that with a grain of salt as well. If you own, let's say, 0.0001% of all the designs on Redbubble, on TeePublic, that means you've done a lot of work. I mean, that's no joke. That's not 60 or 100 designs. You're looking at thousands upon thousands upon thousands of designs, maybe about 50,000 designs or 100,000 designs. So the more market share you have, the better. And the more calculated market share is more important. And we've talked about this in the design course as well. If you guys remember the design course for the members who have joined, what we specifically talked about is we have to elicit a category, right? And under that category, there are an umbrella of different things that we can create. And this is why it takes me almost no time to create some designs. I mean, you guys saw me live in the course create over 60 designs under a period of 34 minutes or something like that. I think I created like 34 designs or 33 designs, and there was no talking during that video, but in the other videos after it, you heard me explain why I did it and things like that. But anyways, all the course links will be in the pinned comment, and also in the description. So that's a completely different conversation. So now that you kind of have more understanding behind the algorithm, let's actually talk about the questions that we received today, and try to answer some of them. Now, I won't do the question videos all the time towards the end of the video. It's just when I feel like I have a lot of questions that I need to tackle, and let's go ahead and answer them. So the first question here, actually, let me go ahead and refresh this just in case if there has been any other comment during that time. So somebody said here, the last comment, somebody commented about Redbubble account suspended. They said, mine was just suspended. I don't understand. So for Delia JM, sorry for being suspended. It does suck, but realize that there are, most of the time, the overwhelming majority of the times, if you're being suspended on a certain platform, it's 99% of the time because you did violate something on that website, right? You might not understand why you violated. It could be something as very simple as just a keyword that you should not have added to your tags. It could be just as simple as that. It doesn't have to be something basic. And, there are certain things within their algorithms that if, a design is targeted or something like that, it can cause issues and it could get you suspended. It's very, very common. And unfortunately, there are certain situations where people get suspended very early, and even some people get permabanned. So that's just something to be aware of. The next comment comes from Chili Verity. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Listening to this again, wow, something just clicked. Let your assets, the number of designs, outweigh your liabilities, survival income. This takes my motivation to upload to a new level. Absolutely. So what Chili was talking about was in the video, do this to multiply your income. Something that I mentioned towards the end of the video is what you really want to do is you want to increase the amount of assets that you have so that they can outweigh your liabilities. So let's say you have $400 in expenses through liability. So let's say you have a car every week. So that's $1,600 total. You have a car, you have groceries, you have some things you have to pay for, whatever the case may be. Those are your liabilities. Now, there are certain costs and liabilities that you cannot go without. Car, for example, food, things like that. But what you want to do is you want to increase the amount of assets you have to outweigh those liabilities. So you might have, let's say, 15,000 designs that pay your way for you, and they generate, let's say, $4,000 a month, as an example. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm just saying that could be an example there. Okay, and that was from the video, do this to multiply your passive income. The next one we have from Jawad Ahmed. Should we go for a trending niche or evergreen niches in the beginning? So in the case of a Redbubble, understand that an evergreen niche, people can search for a very long period of time and find your design. A trending niche, it could be for a week, it could be for 2 weeks, however long that trend goes on, where they might potentially find your design. Now, it's really up to you and what you're capable of doing. If you're capable of waking up every day and chasing the trends every day, then do it. If you're capable, I personally, you would very, very rarely see me do something like that. Evergreens are very, very good for me personally. I can't recommend what you do, but for me personally, evergreens for me is, even though the sales are going to be slower in the beginning, it's more of a guarantee, okay? And of course, there's no guarantees in this world other than death and paying your taxes, but it's more of a guarantee for me because with the trending, there's mountains of other people competing for the same keyword or for the same trend rather, and it's kind of hard to break through the commotion. I guess you could say, unless you're very lucky, which has happened to me a few times, but it's those few times still don't warrant me to go out there and do that every time. But let's go ahead and continue. Thanks, Vikas says on the video, we created, by the way, guys, a video that says how to rank on Redbubble search with no sales history. This was a 2-part series video. The second video was I believe this one, and the first one was this one. The second video was us validating our results and actually searching for the keyword and showing how we ranked on the top with no sales. So that's something that's interesting if you want to, guys, check it out. But Vikas says on that video, he says, thanks for the shout out, brother, and for helping us in the POD journeys. Because of your content, my previous designs are ranking in the first page of the niches that I tapped into. It's also great news to see that you tap into the YouTube space of ambient sounds. Best luck with it. So, guys, if you don't know what he's talking about with the ambient sound videos, is I'm actually going to create a YouTube channel, or I've been working on this YouTube channel behind the scenes, where we upload YouTube videos to YouTube that are these sound-based videos, like ocean waves or something like that, and that will actually hopefully create a new journey of passive income for us, and we're going to test it out. We'll see. I'm not trying to make quick money off of it. I just want to make reliable income over a long period of time. So a quick update on my work. I currently am changing tags and titles for all my previous designs before I upload my new ones. I don't know if it will help me generate sales for the old ones, but I take it as a challenge to reach out for the first page and also experiment with tags and titles and get used to the process of it all. This will help me uploading the newer ones. Moreover, looking at Pinterest to promote my art. I wish I could afford virtual assistants to help me on this, but down the line, I will eventually will. So yeah, Vikas, don't worry about it. Don't worry about hiring virtual assistants right away, because at the end of the day, you have to learn how to manage yourself first. And that's one of the things that I struggled with in the beginning is I had a very, very hard time because of how fast my business was expanding when I was doing the clothing company a long time ago. And guys, when I say clothing company, it wasn't print on demand. It was white labeling. So I would design, create products with a manufacturer overseas. I would pay the cost of that product, and it will come to me overseas. Now, some of the products came damaged because of certain things and situations like that, but when I had that business was expanding so quickly, and towards the end of that business journey, that when I went to go hire people, I couldn't even know how to manage myself first. I was such a beginner at business that I was just learning things. And so if you can learn things now, Vikas, and you can get better at what you're doing now, hiring people will be a breeze because you know exactly what you're doing. But that was the mistake that I did, and I learned a lot from that mistake. But I was trying, I hired people a little bit too early, but for me it was necessary because there's no way I could have done all the the shipping, the packaging, all that doing myself. And you learn a lot about people during that process. Let's go ahead and continue. Nox, Nox, he comments on the video that says how I find new Redbubble designs that sell. He says, so if I'm understanding correct, you're saying that if I create thousands of designs in different niches on one account, tiger, coffee, bikes, traveling, etc., I probably won't get many sales because I can't please or satisfy everyone. If I'm going to create now thousands of designs on, let's say, one niche, how can I, and I combine it with different niches like quotes, tags, dogs, etc., I'll make more sales. But what if I make 1,000 designs in one niche, then 1,000 in another, and then again? Okay, so I hear what this guy is saying. Shout out to Nox. So here's the thing, right? I'm not saying that it will decrease your sales. I don't want you guys to get this confused. When you create products in different niches all on one store, that's not going to decrease your sales. It's just simply not going to increase your sales. I'll explain what I mean by that. When somebody's looking for a certain product, guys, what do? They don't click on the store first. They just find the design. They click on it. They go to the cart. They add the product to the cart, right? They add the product to the cart, and then they check out, let's just say, right? That's exactly what they do. So in terms of that aspect, it won't decrease your sales. So don't get that confused. But what it won't do is that if in the event that the person comes to your product, thinks it's a good product, and wants to see more of those specific kind of products that are similar, and they click on your store, and let's just say they see stuff that don't relate necessarily to the product, then you're hurting your chance of getting increased income through average order value, average order value. So what average order value means is that if a consumer comes to your product and just buys one product, then your average order value, let's just say, is $20. If they buy two products, it's $40. $50, whatever. The number goes up with the more products that are ordered. What you're doing is you're hurting your average order value, I guess you could say, metric, right? And so if you create designs, like look at this store, right? Let's say I did a search, I found this design, and I was interested, and I wanted to buy it. But then something hit me, and I said, you know what? Maybe this person has more cool designs just like this that I want to go buy. And I click on their store and I see all of this. Guess what? I'm in design heaven as a customer because I want to buy more of what I just bought. Does that make sense? But if I have designs in all different aspects, that person who comes to my store in an effort to find new stuff, the attention span is very low. They're not going to sift through thousands and thousands of products to look for something that's related. They'll just walk away. Right? And so understand that consumer friction is typically higher than not. And what that means is that there are more things to hold a consumer back from actually purchasing than to actually make them purchase, right? Like if we had to gamble on whether somebody's going to buy something or not, most of the time a consumer is not going to buy, right? That's why conversion rates are so low. You have conversion rates as low as 0.1% on certain stores. And the reality is this is not the way business should work. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue. So that's kind of my answer to your question. And hopefully I answered your question, Knox, or part of it at least. So it's not that it's going to hurt your sales. It just won't increase your sales. Does that make sense? And you're relying on one avenue of sales, which is just simply through the search. Somebody finds your product and purchases. Okay? The next one, Amanda Lester comments on the video that we posted yesterday. We returned a regular photo into a masterpiece painting, and we actually take those designs and actually post them on Redbubble. She comments, I love this, but I'm a little concerned regarding your comments about paintings and photos in the public domain, which can be used for commercial uses, can't be used on certain platforms. Personally, I have done remastered renderings of those paintings, but is that okay? I would appreciate your thoughts. Yes, I know you're not a lawyer, etc. Don't worry, just a general opinion perhaps someone else might know. Thanks. Sure. So shout out to Amanda Lester. I'll answer this comment. Guys, in this video where I turned, I'll just go ahead and show you guys what I am talking about here. Let me see if I can view the comment on YouTube. So this was the video. If you guys remember this video from yesterday, I showed how to turn this photo into, where is it here? It should come up in just a second. This photo, okay? And what I said in the video was the certain type of company that I'm using to actually find the main photos, which was the original photo, is a photo that allows me or grants me a paid license and a legal license to use those specific photos for paid purposes. So one of the purposes that they specifically say in their policies that are allowed is print on demand. Now, that company is technically not considered stock footage. I'll explain what I mean. So what Amanda is saying is that she's saying she got, I think she's saying that she got photos from the public domain, for example, through Pexels, right? Anything that's paid for is not public domain. It's not free. It's not for free. It's not in the public. But she's saying she got photos that were in the public domain, and she's changing up, and if she changes them up, kind of like the way we change them up here, right? Like right here. Let's go ahead and go back right here, then would it be okay? Well, here's the issue with this. The issue with this is that you would, from there's two standpoints here, right? You have the standpoint of the public domain website, which, for example, let's say is Pexels, and then you have the standpoint of the platform that you're uploading to. The platform at the end of the day has the full right, the full capability to terminate you if they want to. And if you read their policies very specifically, they say no stock footage, okay? Now let's just imagine somebody reports you, because this is something that happens all the time using Pexels, using other images in the public domain. The reality is you're not going to be the first person to use that photo in public domain. There are hundreds of thousands of sellers on Redbubble and other platforms, and typically they know about those images before you do. Okay, that's just the reality. And the reality is when they upload those photos, they don't want anybody else to upload them. Even though everybody else is in the right to upload them, They don't want you to upload them. So what they do is when they upload them, they look for anyone else who's uploaded them and report all of them, okay? Now, Redbubble, because they reported them, will take them down by default. But the uploaders, the secondary uploaders, who also have the right, who got their accounts or their photos taken down, unfortunately, because of their account status, some of them will have their account deleted. And if their account is deleted, well, then there's no use of even fighting it, because they're not going to receive an email that says, hey, your account was deleted, sorry about that. They're not going to get a courtesy email. They're just going to get their account deleted. The second group of people, they're not going to get their account deleted, but they're going to get their account, their design suspended. So, they're going to get their design removed. Now, the problem with that is when they get their account removed, they have two options. They can either accept the account being design being removed, or they can fight it. The problem is if they fight it and they state that, hey, I own this design, there are two concerns. The concern is that the other person uploaded first. That's the first concern. The second concern is, where did you upload from? The person on the other end of the Redbubble search will eventually do a reverse search on that image and find that this is on a stock footage platform. And the problem is, when you're on a stock footage platform, it specifically says in the policies not to do that. So at that point, if you're appealing the decision, assuming if you're going to fight the decision of removing your art, the person who is reviewing this issue, they're going to look and they're going to realize that you posted stock footage, which increases your chance of getting your account completely removed. They have a specific policy on doing that. Now, the photo that I use, which is Unlim Photos, that costs normally $12 a month for 30 designs a day, 30 photos a day, unlimited, right? They have a one-time payment fee that I pay $59 for, and I can use forever. And all of those photos are licensed, so I have the legal license, the legal right to utilize them on my art, even if somebody else used them. Now, because I'm paying for something that is, premium, that is not in the public domain, there's going to be less people that are using them. And even if, and when I say less, it's almost nobody. And even if I am using them, I have the legal right to do that. I have the legal license to do that. So if I was, for example, reported or anything like that, it's very simple. I just send the license and everything will be taken care of. And I have had situations like that before where I've gotten reported once or twice for a certain design, got it taken down, and I appealed, and I just simply showed the license, and that was it. Okay? The next comment says, please review about merch. Amazon merch. I'm not sure what that means, please review. But okay. Somebody said, use the link, got my access. Anyone wondering if they should get it, do it. The offer won't be around forever. Yes. So Mark Ogden was talking about the comment that for the video here about the website where I got this design, right? Where I got these designs. This is the actual website. Their plan, the $59 plan, where you pay one time and you pay one time and you get access forever. That's not going to be something that exists forever. It's a limited time deal. It's a limited time offer. And like I said, in the video, I gave the link to that. Okay. So that's that. Let's see here. Affiliate marketing versus print on demand. Which is the online which is best? It just depends on you. It depends on your ability. It depends on your knowledge. And it depends on your skill set. Nothing is better than the other. I've always said this before, but you could be in the best business in the world, but if you don't have the resources, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like being a warrior in a battle. If you don't have the best tools, and if you don't have the training, you're not going to be able to do anything. For example, if you have great talent, if you know how to wield a sword like a savage, but you're given a cardboard sword, a sword made out of cardboard, you're not going to be able to defend yourself. Doesn't matter what kind of skills you have. If you have no skills, zero skills, and you have the best sword in all of the land, you're still going to lose because you don't have any training. So in terms of battle, you need both the training and the right sword. And this goes for the conversation of affiliate marketing versus print on demand. It doesn't matter what business you go to. It just matters on the sword you're wielding, meaning your, the resources that you have, the softwares that you have, the knowledge you have access to, and also the training. So you have to be able to know how to use this. The next comment says, I was using something similar, but I had to stop because it quit working. This is awesome. Thanks again for your amazing content. You motivate me to no end. This was Robert Murphy. Shout out to Robert Murphy. I appreciate you for commenting that. And he was talking about, like I said, this wolf video. Not the wolf video. The turning the picture into the painting, where I showed the secret software to allow you to do that completely for free. Okay, the next comment. I love this. Thanks. I did a test, but could not get any of my images on very high resolution, though. So very high resolution is going to come through PNG format. That's the premium version of the software. But if you have decent resolution, that's through JPEG. And also, you can increase the size of the actual photo, like the pixels. So the cool thing about that software is you can go up to 8,000 by 8,000 pixels. So that's actually pretty good. So you might have to increase it through there. Let's see here. I was on TeePublic for 5 years, a month, and they got closed down my store without any warning. I contacted them 10 times. No one has gotten back to me. Horrible customer service. This was from D. Edwards. Well, I apologize to D. Edwards for them because, honestly, for my TeePublic experience, it's been an amazing experience. They've replied to every single one of my emails. I've had absolutely no issues with them. The first month that I joined, I've made over $1,000 on TeePublic, so I just figured I'd say that. But I can't really relate. I just don't know what that feels like. Brian Fadouk says, just great. Would like to see more of this. Very affordable too. Yes, he's talking about this video, like I said, because it is very affordable. All you have to do is pay for the images wherever you get them from. Chili Variety says, wow, this is super cool. I love how you got a method to save you time for literally everything. Those pick effects look super cool. I see that they have unlimited downloads a day license as well. Thanks for the recommendation. So yes, if you guys are familiar with this video, the software that provides all the photos for you, there are two plans. There's a $59 plan where you pay $59, you get 30 designs, 30 photos a day. Those 30 photos a day are for the $59 plan forever, right? But they also have another plan where you can pay a little bit extra. I think it's over $100. I think maybe it's like 112 or maybe it's 96. I don't really know what the exact number is. Or maybe it's 210. I'm not sure. Let me go ahead and check here. Okay, guys, sorry, I was back. My nose was feeling extremely congested from all the talking. But, yeah, so they have different plans. I'm not really sure which one that you would go with. But I personally have the unlimited one. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. I might have paid $210. And like I said, they have different plans, and their pricing does change. I know before, the $59 plan used to be $98. So you're getting a little bit of a discount, but I think it's $59 right now for 30 days. They do have a larger plan for more money. But, yeah, I do always have methods that save me time because at the end of the day, time is of the essence. I don't want to waste my time. Gascony Passion. Shout out to Gascony Passion. She has been, I don't know if it's a she or a he, but I think it's a she. She's been supporting this channel for a long time since the beginning of this Redbubble journey. So shout out to her. She says, I love this. Thanks. I did a test. Oh, yeah, I already answered this question with the high res. Okay. Somebody asks here, called Nangobi Rachel, says, thanks for the POD insights. My shop was suspended 1 year ago. I had over 2,800 designs. But this month I received an email from Redbubble that my designs have been approved and available for sale. When I clicked on the product link to see the product, I was told that my shop was suspended. What does this mean? So, if your shop was suspended, it means that your store was taken down, unfortunately. Now, you could fight it, and you could send them the email saying that, hey, your designs were approved, and they could potentially approve you back. I mean, really, at the end of the day, guys, and I've spoken about this before, but at the end of the day, we own no ownership over all these platforms, the Redbubbles, the TeePublics, the Etsy's, all Zazzle, all these different platforms. We have no ownership over it. So whatever happens to us is really up to their peril. We can't choose anything. This is what I say, is that eventually we're all going to need to have our own websites. Now, I have a few of my own websites that do generate me a small amount of income every month. from print on demand, but I'll create a tutorial in the future, sometime in the future, on how to do that. But for now, let's just go ahead and continue here. How many designs are allowed to be uploaded on Redbubble per day? The answer is 60. Okay. Tosin Mati says, thanks for another great video. I opened my first TeePublic account today. That's epic. That's awesome for Tosin. Tosin, shout out to you. Creating your first TeePublic account today is really, really not only a blessing, but it's a new opportunity. It's a new door that's going to open for you. And I'm real happy for your success. And thank you for all the support, of course. Melvin Colombo says, this is cool. Can't wait to try it once I get home from work. I haven't been able to watch your other videos, been super busy, but thank God I got to this one, bro. Good work, man. First of all, thank you. I appreciate that. And no worries. Don't feel like you're obligated to watch the videos. Just click on whatever video you enjoy and go ahead and watch that. Carly Esposito says, whoa, this is amazing. I got unlimited photos when you first recommended it. I've been loving it ever since. And now this. You have outdone yourself here. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. This was a comment that I posted. The next person says, Real Ghost Stories. That's their name. I'm on TeePublic and Redbubble, and there are good designs on both. What I do love about TeePublic, and I really wish Redbubble would adopt this, is you cannot tag spam on TeePublic. If you ever attempt to, they will close your account, but their tagging system reads the tags that you put in and give you the most relevant tags for your design. Con is that you are limited to 15 tags. Well, actually, to be honest, Real Ghost Stories, I actually like that about TeePublic. Like, the fact that TeePublic is that strict, I like that, to be 100% honest with you. Because Redbubble owns both Redbubble and TeePublic. The thing is that, with Redbubble, it's been, stampeded with tag spammers, with copycats, with just a whole host of negativity, really. But TeePublic, the reason why they're so strict, and this is why I love them so much, is because they're so strict. They're preserving the beauty of that platform, right? Like I said, the first month on that platform, I gained over $1,000 in sales. It was pretty epic. And I'm actually really proud of that and really happy with that. But I know, and without fooling myself, I know that is strictly because of the platform, right? Like, I could take those exact same designs, put it on a different platform. I wouldn't get those level of sales. Why? Because the platform is not a mess like Redbubble is. TeePublic is very organized as a platform, all right? So I've answered pretty much every question here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye.